Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so sorry, first and foremost, that I haven't been online the last couple of days. I've actually been really busy. But anyway, everything's going swimmingly. Super excited. So I wanted to wait till now to do a quick update for you. So today is a Glasgow day. So on a Monday, I have to go up to Glasgow and check in with all the just surgeons and doctors, and they obviously like to keep an eye on things. They also do my bloods then as well, and the blood test is really important because the blood tests show exactly what's happening with the kidney, if it's happy, if it's not, whatever. But also it also regulates the drugs that I have to take as well. So they monitor the blood's monitored, so that then gives me my correct dose of anti-rejections to take as well. Thursday is another blood day, and that's at Dumfries. So that will happen for about 4 or 5 weeks, give or take. Maybe only another couple of weeks up in Glasgow, and then the rest it'll be done at Dumfries, which is super. It's just half an hour away, which is great. So I just wanted to fill you in a little bit more since coming home. So I came home on Wednesday afternoon last week. Came home. I have to say, it was super strange, super strange, because Wednesday is normally a dialysis day. So I actually feel a lot of people have been asking us, how does it feel now? It actually feels like I've been made redundant from a job. I did it for 5 years, and now I'm starting a brand new job. I feel like the new girl, but it's really exciting, and I love it. I love it. Um, so yeah, it was really really strange. On the Thursday, my first appointment was in Dumfries, so I went up there, and that was super. Just to see the team up there, and where I get my bloods done is exactly the same place as I used to dialyse. So I was a bit like, oh God, these people are still dialysing. They have to kind of show a bit of respect. To be fair, I didn't actually see any of what I would call my regulars because I'm on a different day. But I caught up with the nurses. Oh my God. Tears, laughter, joy, happiness, every kind of emotion you can imagine. It was wonderful, honestly, super. Everybody's so happy, and so am I. So anyway, that was that. Blood test done, wound was checked, and I checked in with the doctor there as the consultant there as well. All super happy with us. So the other thing that I wanted to say was, so when the kidney was put in, um, I don't want to get too technical on some of the blood tests, but the basic one, or the one that everybody keeps an eye on, is the one called creatinine. And creatinine is, if you like, if you think of it like the poison, if you like, or the waste product. So the more creatinine the kidney will get rid of, the healthier everything is, if you like. So when that kidney went in before it woke up, obviously I had to dialyse to get rid of it because nothing was getting rid of any toxins in the body. So when it first started kicking in, the creatinine level was about 1200, which is super high. A normal adult creatinine can be anything, it can be anything from some people 75 to 125 as a number. So this was mega high. Last week, so this is approximately 10 days post transplant. Well, it's less than that. 10 days last week. I was 700. On After that blood test, it came down to 500, and that was on Thursday. And then today, I've just had a quick look and had my test this morning, and I'm down to 300. So that decline in creatinine in a 2 week transplant is amazing, for a second transplant, because it's not always easy for the body to accept. So everybody is over the moon, and so am I, absolutely. Queenie is super, super happy, peeing about every 3 hours. So my intake is roughly, I haven't actually measured properly my intake since I've been home, but my output is near enough on par. So anything I'm taking in is passing out. I'm measuring it. And I just wanted to show you something. So pre-transplant, this was my cup that I used to have a cup of tea in. It's about 125 ml. It's not very much at all. And I used to have about 3 of them a day, and that was it. It's my great grandmother's old coffee cup. But it's nice and neat, and you only get, I don't know, a few mouthfuls. It's not very big. However, we are now onto this now. So it's quite a big difference in the size. And again, going back to what I was saying at the beginning about being conditioned, I can't actually finish that cup of tea. I still feel as if I have to be careful. So there's a real mind power thing going on about coming out. It's okay to do it now. It's okay to eat what I want to eat. So a renal diet consists of very, very low, in fact, no high in potassium foods and high in phosphate foods. Now, everything contains phosphate, everything from fruit to veg, everything. The main ones for potassium is bananas, obviously. So I love bananas. No bananas for 5 years. Well, that's going to change. And also nuts, seeds, and chocolate. But funny enough, I'm not a big chocolate fan. I was tested last year for celiac, and I do have a slight intolerance to wheat. So I am careful. So the only wheat that I do take is biscuits. That's my downfall, I'm afraid. So I like a bit of a dunk with my tea. But apart from that, I'm not a big fan. And after my first transplant, I had a craving for 7-Up and cheesy Wotsits. Now, I never used to eat crisps, and I'm still not a big crisp fan. I do like a packet of Wotsits now and again, but I went crazy, and I mean multi-packs would disappear. I can't say I've had anything major like that this time. I think I'm still in my mindset of watching what I'm eating. And it's so bizarre, honestly, it's so bizarre to be able to eat what you want. And I know it takes a bit getting used to. I've had a few questions about the water element as well, and passing urine. So I just want to quickly explain about that as well. So when you have no renal function, now some people who are on dialysis still have have a bladder function, if you like, or can pee still. Those that don't, what happens is the kidney is completely stopped working. So the kidney produces urine, which is the byproduct of everything that you've eaten or drinking. It's a waste product. And that is then passed through into the bladder, and you pass it out as normal. So when you don't pass urine, it just collects around the body. And it's in your bloodstream. You don't see urine going around your system or anything like that. It's actually within the bloodstream itself. I'm going to tag the dialysis diary I did last September for organ donation week. Now, if you're a bit squeamish with needles, it's not for you, because it does show everything that I do. I do self-care, or did self-care. So it shows the whole process of the machine, it shows the needles, and it shows how things work. And the filter on the side of the machine is literally the kidney. So that machine is a huge version of your small kidneys in your back. Now, the kidneys itself, if your own kidneys stop working, they do not remove them unless necessary. They will never remove them unless they're problematic in any shape or form. So what happens is they actually shrink into what I can only described as conkers, or quite large grapes. They just shrivel up, and obviously there's no function for them. And that also happens to my first transplanted kidney, which stopped working in 2019. So that shriveled up as well. They do not remove any kidneys, including the transplanted kidney as well. That is left. So what they then do, so my first one was in my left side, and the new one is in my right side. And it's in the front of the abdomen, across from your belly button into the lower abdomen. And they replumb you to the bladder. So there's new plumbing system put in. With that, into the plumbing system, to make sure everything's secure, there is a small stent. Now, first time round, that was removed within 2 weeks. The new protocol at Glasgow is about 4 or 5 weeks to ensure, I suppose, the seal and everything. It's a little bit uncomfortable because the bladder the lining irritates it a little bit. So you can feel it. You don't feel the stent, but you feel it when you're passing the urine. It's not nasty or anything, but you can feel it. So that is how they replumb the new kidney as well. The the output itself is measured as well, just to make sure that whatever you're putting in, obviously you're passing out as well. And sometimes at the beginning it can be quite bloody, and that's normal because it's just flushing out what it needs to be flushed out. And then it gets clearer and clearer into the urine colour as normal. And that's basically how things progress through the body. There's also major things as well happening. So you don't, on top of the kidneys, this bit of biology again, on top of the kidneys, you have your adrenal glands. On a transplanted kidney, you don't get the full adrenal gland from the transplant. You only get part of it. Now, that is a major hormone organ. And so that talks to your parathyroid, your thyroid, obviously your brain as well. So with me, what was happening was, it was because there was no function, my parathyroid was then working overdrive and absorbing calcium from my bones. So my bones got a bit of a hammer, and you can take medication for it. It's not the nicest, to try and stop that. That now is working. So we have now chemical reactions going on. The brain's going, oh, hello, we don't need to work as hard down into here. So there's a lot of stuff going on inside this body. It is just magical, really, when you think about it. It's totally magical how things adjust, how things, come together and work together again and be a normal body. It's fascinating. So yeah, that's just a little bit about biology and things like that. If there's any other questions, please ask, because I'm more than happy. As I said before, some people just presume that, oh, well, why does that not work? And why do you have to do that? So please ask, no problem. So today, being up at Glasgow, I've got the staples out. Oh my God, I'm so pleased. So because this is my second transplant again, if this was the belly button here, the scar comes around like this and down towards the pubic bone. So it's quite a large, it's about 15 inches across like here. Now, there was a little bit of a weeping down here on the bottom side of the line, but there was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. Just a plaster on it, and that was it. But the staples, they stick out, and I'm quite a fast healer, although I thought I normally am. And they stick out, the staples, and they're sharp. And when you're healing and the nerves are starting to come together, it's really sharp and nippy. So when I seen the consultant, the surgeon actually today, I said, we need the staples out. Of course. So I went down, and the lovely nurse took each staple out. It's a little bit stingy, but it's obviously it's nothing. It's really nothing. I don't remember it. I don't think I had staples though. So I had all my staples out. That was great. There was a little bit, so she put a plaster at the bottom, and that was it. No problem. Walked downstairs. Gets just before we were going to go and have something to eat at the cafe, and I thought, I can feel something a little bit damp on my leg. And sure enough, the side wound, which was the most sealed area of the wound, is never leaked at all, had opened up. We had been laughing. So we about turned and went back up, and the surgeon came and had a look. He says, oh, it's just superficial. He says, it can happen, not a problem. So we put some, it's actually like a seaweed-based stuff. I have seen it before. And that's packed in and then brought together with some sticky tape, basically, and a big plaster. So that's just in place just to keep it. It's just the sheer pressure. I am still a lot swollen in my tummy. My tummy is very... still puffed up, and it'll just take time to reduce down. But that's fine. That's one of them things. You kind of do nothing about it. One of the other medications that was my drama today. So I'm just back, actually. It's a full day. It's normally would have been an hour or so. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's done. The other tablet that's been reduced is steroids. I'm on steroids. I do not like them. And those that know me, back in the day, 30 years ago, when my lupus was very aggressive and I was on steroids, I was psychotic. So I'm pretty nervous about them. To be fair, to touch wood, I have actually been okay. I can feel a little bit of extra fluid, which they can cause a bit of a moon face. Don't think I've got that, but I do feel it a little bit under my chin. I'm really sensitive to them. But they were reduced today as well, so that's a good sign. They're coming down. That's brilliant. So I am over the moon. So everything's going swimmingly. My next appointment is on Thursday in Dumfries. So that is another blood test to see if that creatinine starts to come down a little bit more. Happy days, happy days. I am over the moon, and everybody is. I went and called and dropped a card off at the unit at the ward that I was on, 4C, up in Glasgow today. And big hugs and oh my God, Diane, we can't believe that, you're here. And actually the surgeon who came to see me when it opened up, I hadn't seen him for about 2 years. And he said, Diane, I can't believe it. He says, I'm over the moon. Because I was such a hard match to get. The other thing, before I forget, sorry, 15 minutes later, the other thing I want to share with you is I found out, I think by accident, I got a letter. So all my test results come on my phone. And also any correspondence and letters are also on my phone. I've never had any letters other than the other night. And it showed all about my cross matches, all about my blood tests and everything. I'm fascinated with all that. Also on there, my donor turned out to be a 50-year-old gentleman who died of a bleed on the brain. I've got a goose pimple. My love goes out to his family and his friends. 50-year-old, he's younger than me, and he gave his organs to one person here, and I don't know how many others. Bless his heart. And with that, it really fills me up. With that, I'm just sending all my love and respect to the family concerned. I will write a letter. The letter goes to the transplant coordinator. You're not allowed to put your surname on it. And I will express my true heartfelt gratitude and hopefully get a reply back from the family. Again, that comes back through from the transplant team as well, to make sure there's no personal information on these letters. It's very, very personal. Sometimes they don't come back to you, and that's up to the family. Totally understand that as well. So I'm still going to have Queenie inside, but we might have Quinton on a Sunday, just to let you know. I'm so grateful for the family concerned. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable is another word, keeps coming out. I have to keep pinching myself, guys and girls, because this is a journey that I really never thought I would ever get. Anyway, with this note, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to fill my cup up and have a cup of tea and enjoy my night. Lots of love. Speak soon. Thank you.